If you're like me, you're feeling either angry, frustrated, scared, hopeful, lots of different emotions about the federal government coming out yesterday and saying that the cause of autism was women taking acetaminophen or Tylenol during pregnancy. So let's talk about it. I'm Tracy Tyson. I'm a general pediatrician for over 20 years. And let's talk about what information is actually out there. What does it mean? And why is this as big of a problem as it seems to be? So first of all, I waited a good 24 hours close to before I made this video because I wanted to take some time and listen to autistic individuals and how were they taking this information? How were they feeling? Because I feel like sometimes their voice is lost in all of this discussion. We've got parents talking, we've got doctors talking, we've got legislators talking, we've got people who know nothing who are talking, but autistic adults, sometimes their voice is not what's being heard. And so I took some time to actually listen to some of them, look at their videos, what are they thinking and feeling, reading about things online, just so that I had a better understanding of how they felt. So I was the most sensitive when I presented this. So first of all, if you're feeling any emotion associated with the announcement yesterday, even if it's hope and elation, I understand, and I wish that this was something that was the smoking gun. I really wish that it was. That would be absolutely bloody fantastic, but it's not. So let's talk a little bit about what they actually did, what it means, and why the rest of the medical community is not behind this. So first and foremost, autism is not a disease. Autism is a spectrum disorder of a bunch of different disorders that meet the same criteria that have a lot of different factors. So to ever say that you have found the cause or the cure for a spectrum of disorders is almost impossible. There's a reason why we've been studying this for decades, and we're making dents, and we're better at diagnosing, we're better at treatment modalities, we're looking at causes, but it's so multifactorial. As soon as you feel like you have one, it drops by the wayside because it gets negated by something else. So that's where this problem lies, is first of all, you have to stop seeing this as a disease. It's not a disease. There may be an underlying disease in that person, which is a different cause than someone else's autistic features. When that got really confusing was when we changed the DSM criteria, which is the diagnostic manual that tells us what criteria to diagnose a mental condition is. It was rapidly expanded in the 2000s to include all of autistic features in one disorder. That was done for a few different reasons, but in hindsight, that took the individuality away from it and made someone who likes to collect Legos and might have a little bit of trouble with social connection and put them on the same diagnostic code as someone who is completely nonverbal, epilepsy, and has severe neurological dysfunction. Those are not the same condition. Even if they're on the same spectrum, they are not the same. The next thing I want to address is that this is not new information. There was no new research done. I saw that over and over again in comments all over the internet about how finally people are putting time and effort and money into the causes and cures for autism. And trust me when I tell you that there is a lot of time and money that's already been put into this. And the studies that they looked at were 47 studies that were done worldwide that had been done as early as 2005. And the latest was just published earlier this year. So this had already been looked at extensively and likely would have had some more studies to come. But this is what they showed. Of those 47 studies, there were some that showed that there could be a statistically significant increase in autism in moms who had taken acetaminophen during pregnancy, but they needed to do more research. The other studies showed a protective benefit from acetaminophen. So in their study, they showed if the woman had taken acetaminophen, her child was less likely to have autism. The other studies, they showed that once you took other factors into place, like siblings and other statistical things and other demographics, it canceled out and it was neither protective or causative. So when you have those three different kinds of studies, and you look at them all together, if you are a scientist, you look at that and say, this is correlation, not causation. Correlation is when two things are occurring at the same time. Causation is where one causes the other. So you hear this all over the internet. Ice cream sales and serial killers go along the same line. Does ice cream sales cause serial killers? No, they just happen to both go up during summer, and they're both more likely in the summer. So that is the current medical community's thought on acetaminophen, because no one can go in and figure out how this actually occurs. Here's another problem. Almost 80% of women in the United States and abroad, so it's acetaminophen is everywhere. It's called Tylenol in the United States, but acetaminophen is everywhere. Almost 80% of women have had to take a dose of Tylenol during their pregnancy. So if you're screening for a disorder and 80% of those people already have taken something, it's going to look positive, right? Because if you ask me about any disorder, I took Tylenol during both of my pregnancies. My son has ADHD. Is that because I took Tylenol? My daughter has a known genetic disorder. Is that because I took Tylenol? But what if I had a child that had no medical problems and I still took Tylenol? It's too many factors involved for them to say that it causes it. If they saw that and said, hey, we need more information, and they came out and said, we're going to put $500 million more towards this because we think it has teeth. We think this is something that could be going on. The medical community would have been like, fan-bloody-tastic, let's go. Put some money and some time and some effort into helping us figure out what's going on with autism and better treatments. But instead, they took old data and they came to a conclusion that is incorrect and it will be harmful. Tylenol or acetaminophen is the only approved pain and fever reducer in pregnant women and babies under the age of 5 months. With that, parents now are going to be afraid to give their child something or to take something that has been proven to be safe. I've also seen at least 100 ads for wellness influencers now selling natural, all safe fever and pain relievers that are okay to be used during pregnancy and infancy with not one research article behind them. No bit of data, no regulation, nothing. So how much damage is that going to cause when parents are so afraid to take this medication now and they feel guilty? And that's the next part about this is, do we need to make mothers feel more guilty about everything they do to their bodies during pregnancy? I wish they'd come out and lied and said it was vaping. If we're going to make something up, let's come out and say it's something that actually does cause harm. Let's say it's the risk of school shootings that causes stress in women who are pregnant, and that stress causes the person to have a child with autism. So if we're going to make something up, I wish we would make up something that actually would benefit and not just cause more stress and harm. So I'm sorry this is kind of emotional, but it should be emotional for all of us because we all want answers. I want answers, you want answers. People who have autism would like some answers, but this is not the answer. So right now, the American Association of Pediatrics and the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology are not changing their guidelines. They are still saying that Tylenol is safe during pregnancy and is safe in the first 6 months of life for a child. If you have any questions about whether or not you should be taking these medications, please talk to your doctor. If you choose not to take them because you are afraid, I 100% understand. 100%. But don't take something else just because someone tells you that it's safe, because nothing has been studied as much as Tylenol has. So don't fall prey to people telling you you can take their wellness supplement, pay $40 for it, and I don't know what it's going to do to you or your baby. So I am so sorry that this is happening. We are here for you. If you have any questions for me, please ask. If I don't know the answer, I will look it up. And I'm planning on doing a live one night this week to try to maybe be another source where people can ask questions. So please look for that as well. But take care. Look to us for help. We are here. We are just as scared and frustrated as you guys are. And we need to stick together, those people who are actually in the trenches and doing this. And if we can actually find something that causes symptoms of autism in people, let's go. But let's make sure we're doing this correctly. We're not putting guilt on people, and we're not going to cause more harm than help. Take care.